Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop. Okay, it's been quite a long time since I've uploaded any videos. I've been insanely busy. We've had so many new students coming in the last few weeks, and we've literally just been flat out. It's absolutely insane how busy we're getting. The shop's getting more busy as well. I'm going to do a separate video of a shop update, some of the new instruments and tools and stock and everything we've got in the shop, plus a few other developments. But today's video, I've got one of my students' ukulele in the workshop. So this, as I said, belongs to one of my students. She's 9 or 10, I think. Really good student, very confident, and she's doing really well. So I've got her ukulele here. This is a tenor sized ukulele, and with some of the fretting and various other bits and pieces, she's struggling a little bit to get the right sounds, and one of the problems is the string action at the nut is pretty high. It's too high, and also at the 12th fret it's also a bit too high. So I've said that, you know, I'll do this work for her. I'm going to lower the slots in the nut to bring the strings down at this end. But also looking at it, because the action seems quite high at the 12th fret as well. It's about 3 millimeters, and it should be a lot less than that. I'm probably going to take the saddle down a bit as well to lower the action all the way up the fretboard. So I don't really need a great deal of tools for this job. I've got a ruler, and I've got a taper gauge, which really is the proper tool for, well, for many things, but for measuring the string action. So you slide it under the string, and then when it touches, you get your reading of how high the string is. But to be honest, I do prefer to use a ruler. It's easier. I mean, it's probably not as accurate, but it is easier to use it. So I'll, excuse me, probably use the ruler. I've got a pencil with a quite sharp tip on it, and I've got various nut slot files. I've got this set which I've had for a while. So there's 3 of them. Each one has, you know, two edges, so effectively there's 6 files there. Those really are for guitars, really. I've also got this one that I bought as well, which is pretty useless for the guitars, to be honest. But it's quite a thick one. It's quite thick gauge on both sides, and again, it's got 2 different gauges. So that one might be suitable for this job, because the thing is with ukuleles, because they've got the nylon strings, they're thicker than steel strings, and the slots are quite big. I've also got this little set of files, which go from, you know, it's a bit bent, but very thin up to, again, quite a, where's the thickest one? One of these 2. It's quite hard to see, but they are pretty thick. So I've got quite a few different ones there, and you know, I'll sort of gauge as I go along which ones I'm going to need to do this job. So let me just angle the camera down as best I can. Let's just adjust the tripod as well. Let's see. Should be okay. Yeah, it's not ideal, but I am thinking about getting a new camera setup, actually. for these videos. So before I start doing the work on this, I'm just going to check it over to make sure there's no, you know, damage or anything else that needs looking at. The tuning pegs, they all seem pretty good. It's got a few dents and dings in it, but it's you know, it's a working ukulele. Fretboard. I am seeing a little bit of underbow actually. Yeah, it's not too much. Actually, it's probably about right. Ideally, on any stringed instrument, you want the fretboard as flat as possible. But if you're going to have any kind of curve, it's better to have the under curve or under bow rather than over, because that's when you're going to get fret buzzing. But actually, yeah, it looks pretty good. Now I'm not charging the customer anything for this. You know, she is one of my students, and also they actually bought this ukulele from my shop. So whenever I sell any instruments, I always, you know, I give free after-sales service, and you know, provided it's not something that they've done to damage the instrument, I'll always do it free of charge. And this is one of those things. It's set up, so you know, it's something that needs to be done as part of the sale. So first things first, I've got all my tools ready apart from the string winder, so I'll just grab a string winder. Let's use that one. Okay. Yeah, should I lower the saddle as well? I think I will, because it's at the 12th fret. You know, string heights are measuring at like 3mm, which is far too high, really. And as this girl is now getting quite good, you know, I want the instrument to be ultimately playable. It does look as though the bridge may need some attention at some stage. It's okay at the moment, and because it's got the bridge pins, there doesn't tend to be as much tension on these kind of bridges. So it's lifting ever so slightly at the back, but it's not a problem right now. So that'll be for another day. Okay, excuse me. Right, so I'll loosen the strings first. You don't need to loosen them as much as you would steel strings, because obviously, you know, they stretch and you can get them out of the way quite easily. But I just want to make sure I've got enough tension off so that I can move them out of the slots. It's a bit of a pain because you know, you've got to keep putting them back in the slots and get the strings up to tension to measure the string height more accurately. Okay, so let me just turn that around. Okay, so let's just first measure what the string height is at the first fret, and it's not easy to do that with a ruler, so I should have done this before loosening the strings really, but I'll just use my taper gauge and see what we've got. Okay, so probably in the region of 3/4 of a millimeter, about 0.75 to 0.8 of a mil. Really want about half that. Okay, so I am going to do the nut first, the nut end first. Now, what I want to do is, when I'm filing the slots in the nut, I need to make sure I file on that angle, okay, and also follow the angle of the string, that direction, okay. But I need to make sure that I file the slot on a slope, exaggerating slightly, but going that way, because you want the last place the string touches to be on this inside edge of the nut, okay. You don't want it touching in the middle or on the front side of the nut. It needs to, that edge there is the very last place the string should touch. So with my pencil, I'm going to mark inside the slot. I'm not sure how well you'll see that. You can see it quite well. So you can see I've put a pencil line inside the slot. Then when I file, I want to take away that pencil mark from this edge, and leave this edge until the last, so that I know that that's the highest point. It is actually going to be easier for me if I turn it around to do it, and I know you can't see what I'm doing, but it is much easier. So first I need to find which is going to be the best file for this job, and that one definitely is too big. So let me try and find one of these that will be suitable. It's quite hard to tell. Let's go with that edge. Okay. Okay, so as I've started filing, you'll see that this side of the pencil line has disappeared. That's exactly what I want. So I want, yeah, you really can't see that too well. So I want the pencil line at this edge to disappear last. Okay, so which one was I using? Get that one. Let's just do that a bit more. Okay, so now the pencil line has just disappeared, so just need to file off a little bit more, but I've got to be so careful not to go too far, so I'll do it a little bit at a time. Just put that string back in. You can already see that it still needs to go a bit. Actually, that is much better already. Yeah, we're looking. Yeah, it could still come down a little bit more. So just a little bit at a time, creep up on it. Okay, that's looking a lot better already. Just clean that slot up a bit. It's already looking better, but I still think it could go a little bit more. That's much better, much better. Let me just tighten that up. That is miles better already. Okay, so I'll move on to the next slot. So I'll put my pencil mark in again. Now I'll need to go slightly thicker with the file for this one. Actually, that one probably is the right one, yeah. Okay. Let's try that. Yeah, it's better, but we could still go a bit more. I think that's probably good enough. Let me just see. Yeah, I could get a little bit more. Definitely too big, that one. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave that at that. That's about right. Okay, moving on to the other side. I bet you wish you could see what I was doing. It would be a bit better. I really must invest in some better nut slot files. These are not very good. They were quite cheap ones. I need to get some higher quality ones at some stage. I could still go a bit more. How are we doing for time? Okay. For some reason that's not filing so well. I'm not quite sure why. It's looking better. Could still go a tad more. I think I'm gonna leave that as it is and move on to the last one. Now I will get all the strings up to tension and just check them all once I've finished. I'd like to go slightly thicker with this one. Let's try that one. Oh, that's useless. Absolutely useless. Yeah, never mind. Better, a bit more. Right, I'm going to stop there with those for now. We're just going to clean the slots up, and then I'll get all the strings up to tension and see how that looks. Let's just try and clean up the edge of the nut. Okay, right, let's get all the strings up to tension. Just try that first. And one could probably go a little bit more. Feel it binding. Okay. Right. Right. I'm just going to pause the video here and get the strings up to tension because it will take a while and it's not that exciting to see. And we'll see where we are. So I'll see you in 1 second. Okay, so off camera I've got it up to tune, more or less. I mean, the string will stretch again, and I'm gonna have to turn it up the other way for me to play around with it. So I obviously need to check that there's no buzzing. Okay, that's already 1,000 million times better. You're not really going to be able to see it, but I've got the clearance at the first fret. It's still not as low as it could be, but it's a lot lower than it was, and it's going to be so much easier for the girl to play and to fret at the top end there. Now, I also, as I say, want to lower this end as well. Not very much. I mean, she is a beginner, so I don't want it to be crazy low, but I do want it to be a little bit lower than what it is at the moment. So it's probably about 1 millimeter too high at the 12th fret, which means I have to take 2 millimeters off of the saddle. So I am in two minds actually whether to do this or not. I think I will. I mean, I've got lots and lots of spare saddles, so I might try and see if I've got one the same size, and so that I know that I've got a spare if it doesn't go as it should. Okay, so I'm going to have a rummage around, see if I've got another saddle like that, and then I'm going to loosen the strings, take the bridge pins out, take the saddle out, and I'm going to shave a little bit off of the bottom of the saddle to bring the whole thing down, and that should solve the problem. Okay, so I'm going to pause again, find what I need, and bring you back in 1 second. Okay, so I did find another saddle the same size, and I cut it down and put it back into the bridge. It's actually too low, so I found yet another saddle, again exactly the same size. Just line it up, it's exactly the same, and I've cut it down a little bit, about half as much as I cut the other one down, and this one is actually bone as well. The original one and the first one that I tried are both plastic. This is a bone nut, so a bone saddle. So this customer's getting quite a little bit for their no money. And also, when I was removing the bridge pins, 2 of them actually snapped in half. So I'm replacing the whole set because those are worse than useless. So I just put in the new saddle, which actually fits much better than the original one. It's a much tighter fit, that's much nicer, and that looks exactly the right height. Let me just have a quick measure. Obviously it's not going to be completely accurate, but yeah, that looks so much better already. Okay, so let's get the strings back in, put the new bridge pins in. Can be a little bit fiddly, but shouldn't be too bad. There we go, there's one. And 2. And 3. And oh, there's always one, isn't there? Always one. It wants to fight you. Let's just loosen that off a bit, actually. See if that'll go in now. There we go. That's got it. Just want to make sure all of those strings are up, which they seem to be. That one, yes. Okay. Okay, so running out of time, so I'll get this back up to pitch again, and then we'll check it together for the string height. See you in 1 second. Okay, so I've got the instrument back up to pitch, and everything seems good. So first of all, checking the action at the nut end. I'm not actually going to measure it, I'm just going to check it by eye, and it already looks so much better. It's going to be so much easier to play. And I'll check the action at the 12th fret. Again, just using my ruler, because that's just how I prefer to do it. Let's see. So it was at 3mm on all the strings, so that's just a shade over 2. Same. Okay, so they were all just a little bit over 3mm. Now they're a little bit over 2mm, and obviously the strings are going to keep stretching out, but it's more or less up to pitch. So I brought the string action down at the nut and at the saddle to bring it down at the 12th fret, and it is so much better than it was before. Obviously the last thing I need to do is just check again for any buzzing. Okay, that all seems absolutely fine, and I'm just about to run out of time, so I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, etc. And we will see you in the next one. This is all finished, and I'm sure that the customer stroke student will be absolutely delighted. So we will see you soon. Please look after yourselves, look after each other. See you soon. Peace out.